Just quieten down, baby.
Per capita export value.
Libraries. Minister, are you embarrassed by your behavior today?
There's a lot of bleeding hearts around.
Do you have the fortitude or the gonads to stand up and come across here and say that to me, you son of a bitch?
Just watch me.
He certainly went too far, Mr. Speaker, when I saw him stick his tongue out.
Contemptuous disregard.
More than a slab of bacon talking here.
The disappointment you also feel is my responsibility.
I lost my temper.
What is the nature of your thoughts?
The word was F-A-R-T.
Welcome to Canadian Politics is Boring. I'm Jesse Harley. Oh, and I've probably had too much caffeine. This is Reese Waters. Reese, say something other than hello.
Bonjour.
Oh, have you been learning French?
No, everybody knows that one.
Okay.
So.
Welcome to the show. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining us. This is a show where a Welsh immigrant, Reese here, teaches an apathetic Canadian, that's me, about my own country's politics and history. So we haven't said that for a very long time. We just assume people know.
Yeah, you know us. It's fine. Yeah.
If you've been here before.
So I'm going to plug a small business.
I was just going to ask you to.
Yeah, well, you don't have to ask because I already knew. So I would like to plug a new business that has just opened up just by my office called Luke's Small Goods. And it's like a bakery, but they've done like this amazing job of making this old-fashioned looking. It looks like the store looks like something from like the 1940s. It's great. And you go in there and you buy fresh bread and like stuff is good.
When was this? This is right where I live.
It's just open now. It's called Luke's Small Goods.
And it's a bakery because there's a bakery by my place that I used to really enjoy going to because the baked goods were really, really good. But the customer service was atrocious. Like they glared at you and they were curt and they just wanted you to the fuck out of it. Give me your money. Here's your shit. Get the fuck out. It was really weird. It was a weird experience.
Well, this isn't that. And they do like charcuterie boards and stuff as well. So they do like breads and meats and things. And so Luke's Small Goods is on Agricola Street.
Do you know them?
No.
It's
on Agricola Street in Halifax, and it just looks, even just to walk past the shop, it looks really cool. It looks like a blast from the past, like the way they've done the name in the windows and stuff. It is like it's cool. I like it.
Okay.
Anyway.
This is on Agricola Street in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
And if you don't live in Halifax or anywhere near Halifax, then you're missing out. So maybe you should reassess your life because then you could live next to Luke's Small Goods. So.
We're not getting paid. They don't even know we're doing this.
I'm going to go and play the podcast on my phone and then go, give me bread. So it's worth a shot.
What do you got for us today?
So, do you remember Diefenbaker?
The Diefenbaker bunker, yeah.
Diefenbaker, Prime Minister of Canada. Mm-hmm. If you don't know Diefenbaker, if you're
I still want to visit the bunker.
I want to go to his bunker.
Diefenbaker bunker, yeah.
Yeah, Diefenbaker bunker. So if you don't remember him or you've not, we've talked about him on the show before, but he was Prime Minister from 1957 to 1963 during the Cold War, and he was a progressive conservative Prime Minister.
Was he a PC? Oh, progressive conservatives were totally different back
when they were still progressive.
They weren't nearly
they were more P than C.
Yeah, but didn't we have a tongue twister? Because we talked about Diefenbaker's bunker.
Diefenbaker built a bunker. Was that it?
Diefenbaker built a bunker by the bratty bureaucrats.
That's it.
That's it. We had one of our listeners. Her online name is Diesel Dreamer. I believe got a wrestler to say this
Jericho
tongue twister. Jericho, yeah. I fucking quite positive Jericho does not listen to our podcast. And just being asked by an audience member to please recite this tongue twister about a long forgotten Canadian Prime Minister. Amazing.
Actually, this episode has been suggested by quite a few listeners because JFK, famous American president who got shot in the face.
Yes.
Yeah.
One way of describing him.
He basically Diefenbaker hated JFK.
Really?
And they were they overlapped. So he was prime minister when JFK was president, and there's a bunch of reasons why, and it's really interesting to me.
Wow.
To me.
Okay, yeah, let's hear him.
So Diefenbaker was already prime minister when Kennedy won the presidency.
Okay.
So Diefenbaker sent Kennedy a congratulatory letter, and he waited for a response. And in the end, he had to ask his ambassador in Washington to check whether the letter was received. And then
Fucking Kennedy.
And then when Kennedy did reply, he believed he and Canada had been slighted. But it was a bit stalkerish.
I mean,
Just send the letter and move on with your life.
yeah, but this is back when courtesy was a big deal. You know, this is when was this? This is in the 60s, yes?
This was
in the 60s?
Yeah, late 50s, early 60s, yeah.
Yeah, so like there was, I get it. There was, especially in politics, there was courtesy was a big deal. Politeness, there was a way of doing things, a way of behaving.
He left my message on red.
I mean, kind of, yeah. That's like, I get it, right? So like, yeah.
Imagine getting that call. The prime minister wants you to go and nudge the president. Very upset about his letter. He drew a picture and everything. So anyway, also, so Diefenbaker is not is a German name, and Diefenbaker obviously was a prime minister just after two world wars. So he'd often had to battle against his last name, especially running in politics. A lot of people would use that as an easy go-to against him.
What do you mean?
Because he had German heritage. Well, you think Canada fought against Germany in two world wars.
I mean, everybody did.
Yeah, but not everybody. Not Austria-Hungary. But anyway. Or Japan or Italy. So anyway, he was quite sensitive about his name because he was used to getting. He was quite protective of he was obviously probably proud of his German roots, but at the same time realized that it could affect him in the eyes of the electorate if people were being superficial in how they vote, which sometimes people are. And Kennedy messed his name up and called him Diefenbaker.
Was that your Kennedy impersonation?
And then kept repeating it all over and over again. Just mispronounced his name.
Wow. Do you think it was on purpose?
I don't know. I think he probably thought it was. I just don't think Kennedy gave a shit, really, to be honest.
Or he was fucking with him.
Do you know what? When I moved to Canada, and it still happens, people call me Rise because of the way my name is spelt. And sometimes I'm at this point.
That's a fairly common way to spell Reese.
But I'm at this point now where I sometimes I correct people, sometimes I don't, and then I just let it go for ages, and they just think my name is Rise. It's just like,
oh, what? Do you have any friends or coworkers at all who, like, to this day will call you Rise?
But you know what is? If I correct people, they seem like they were so worried that they've offended me, and it doesn't really bother me that much.
You just have to correct them as soon as they first say it incorrectly. If you let it go on, then that's when it becomes a problem. If someone immediately hey, Rise, it's Reese. They're not going to be like, oh my God. Like they're not going to care, right? But if you fucking let it go for, 3.5 years, actually, Tommy, my name is Reese. Yeah. Like you're going to embarrass the fuck out of them.
I genuinely hope to build a 15-year friendship with someone who gets my name wrong. And then at my funeral, then when someone stands up and says my name, they go, "What? I've been calling him Rise this whole time." We're here to remember Reese. Shit. Like anyway, so Diefenbaker didn't speak didn't speak French. He only spoke English, and he attempted French.
German?
No, it was just that was just his name.
Okay.
Yeah. So he did attempt French, but he was always a bit hesitant because he
like you.
Yeah. We. I don't know. Anyway, so when Kennedy came to Ottawa, Kennedy told the crowd that he didn't intend to attempt French, but when he heard Diefenbaker use a few words, he decided to have a go.
Who was this? Is Kennedy?
Kennedy, but Kennedy's
Oh
wife
my
was
God.
bilingual. Kennedy's wife spoke French, so Kennedy spoke better French than Diefenbaker. And
Oh wow!
and
What a
Diefenbaker felt
fucking
humiliated.
slap upside the face, man!
I
Oh
know.
my God!
So you spoke better French in Canada than the Prime Minister.
Wow! Oh, what a dick!
Yeah,
Oh my God! I didn't know JFK was such an asshole.
exactly.
You're not supposed to speak ill of the dead, but
No, I know.
Jesus.
Well, I did say it. He got shot in the face. So anyway, and at a private meeting, Kennedy said he wanted Canada to join the Organization of American States, and Diefenbaker said no because he wanted Canada to be able to interact with people outside of that organization.
What was the organization called?
The Organization of American States.
So he was asking Canada to become a part of America, basically?
No, it was just like a trade organization, I think.
Oh, all right.
And he didn't want to join. And then Kennedy made a speech in the Canadian Parliament. And even though Diefenbaker turned him down in private, he then publicly urged the Prime Minister to join in front of everyone in Parliament, which kind of went against protocol. So Diefenbaker,
no kidding.
again, just another reason for him to hate. If the shoe was on the other foot and Diefenbaker had the nukes, I'm sure he would have used them at this point.
I mean,
yeah,
he had the bunker, right?
Yeah,
right. He was good to go as long as the bunker didn't hit directly on top of it, or the nuke, I should say.
Yeah. Also, Kennedy accidentally dropped a secret memo in Diefenbaker's office, or someone from Kennedy's team did, and it listed it's saying talking about areas where Canada should be pushed, and apparently he'd scribbled SOB when referring to Diefenbaker.
Wow, why doesn't he not like him so much? What the fuck?
And he denied.
Did he have any reason to hate Diefenbaker as much as he did, or?
I don't know, but Diefenbaker threatened to release the memo where he'd said that, and that pissed Kennedy off. And he denied. And Kennedy said he didn't know that Diefenbaker was an SOB until that point. That was his response, which is not very nice. So Kennedy didn't like Diefenbaker because he wanted to station nuclear weapons in Canada. And
There it is.
Diefenbaker said he would, but they would be under Canadian sovereignty and civilian control by Canadians.
Civilian control?
Yeah. So it wouldn't be the US military running it, it would be Canadian government running it.
Oh, okay.
But only after exhausting attempts at global disarmament would they allow nuclear weapons in Canada.
What do you mean?
So he said, yeah, you can have nuclear weapons in Canada, but first go out and prove to everyone that first go out and try and get rid of them all and convince everyone to get rid of them. And if after you've shown us that you've really tried to get rid of all your nuclear weapons, then we'll have your nuclear weapons. That was his deal.
I like it.
I know.
It's sound and full of life.
I'd love to see the PowerPoint presentation of JFK giving, here's all the things we tried, and here's the conclusion we've come to. We can't get rid of them.
I would just like to see anybody from the past trying to use PowerPoint presentations today. I think that'd be...
Yeah. Exactly. Apparently, and JFK found Diefenbaker tiresome. That was his he confided that he didn't like him and he tried to get out of meetings with him. And the British Prime Minister Harold Macmillan had to kind of get involved to convince JFK to spend time with Diefenbaker as well.
Why? They don't like each other. Just leave each other alone. It's fine.
But also as well, Kennedy liked the Liberal leader Lester B. Pearson more than Diefenbaker. So even though he wasn't in power, he liked to hang out with him.
Just to rub it in, I bet.
Yeah. And Kennedy helped to elect Pearson in 1963, which Diefenbaker obviously lost too. So he was kind of, I think JFK just didn't like him, didn't like that he wasn't willing to work with him on everything he wanted. So he was just like, I'm just going to throw my support behind the other person.
I don't know. I mean, the more you talk about that, I don't know much about JFK, but he kind of sounds like a dick.
So that's it as well, though. So Diefenbaker was an anti-establishment populist. So
What does that mean?
So he kind of, so before he was a politician, he was a lawyer.
Who was this again?
Diefenbaker.
Diefenbaker. Okay.
So before Diefenbaker he'd essentially devoted his life to defending like the powerless, I guess. So he was a defense lawyer, and had spoken a lot about non-establishment Canada. He supported civil rights for all, and this was like, quite ahead of his time, I guess, or just before the civil rights movement, or as it was ramping up in the very early stages. He championed the Canadian Bill of Rights, and the extension of the right to vote for First Nations people. He also stood against apartheid in South Africa, 20, 30 years before it really came to a head there. So he was kind of like, he was, again, like a progressive conservative, but he was kind of somebody who believed in fighting for people who couldn't necessarily fight for themselves or change the law to give wider equality. And Kennedy was a child of privilege.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So I think he had no respect for Kennedy because Kennedy kind of had every advantage given to him. And would he have been president without his kind of family connections and his powerful father and all these things? Whereas Diefenbaker came from politics. So politics and power and how you use power in a very different way. So I think a lot of it was they were just fundamentally very different people from very different worlds. And then they just pissed each other off like crazy. So
we should make a Hungry Hungry Hippos board, except with Diefenbaker on one side and JFK's face on the other side.
Diefenbakers, we call it.
Diefenbakers?
Hungry Hippos.
Oh, Diefenbakers, Diefenbakers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been, maybe they should have just had a fight, like,
Well, I gotta, okay. So this was an interesting one. I wouldn't call it one of the crazier episodes, one of the crazier things that you've found along the way. But they can't all be gold mines. So this is it's just.
You're saying this is a bronze episode?
Yes. That's
I'm glad I did all that research
for me to heavily judge you.
Yeah. This one was
entertain me, Reese. Entertain me. This was about two old men who didn't like each other. The end.
But like in the end, though, Diefenbaker had the last laugh because he kept his face. So,
oh my fucking God! You almost made me spit water all over my fucking computer. Jesus Christ! Did you have to wait? You can see me too. You saw me take a drink of water.
I know. I timed it.
Jesus, Reese, you can't say shit like that. That's horrible. Oh my God.
It was like 50 years ago. It's fine. You can't say too soon.
Fine, fair enough.
Yeah. Really sad. I don't want to get shot in the face. It is sad, but
he had the last laugh because he was still able to laugh.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Literally had the last laugh.
And he had a giant bunker as legacy.
Right.
Yeah.
He put away his gun. He got off the grassy knoll and he went into his bunker.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't start conspiracies like that.
I mean, like, you just spent an entire 20 minutes convincing me of a man who hated JFK a lot. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't think that's Diefenbaker's style.
Right, which is why no one would suspect him.
That's true. It's the perfect cover.
Right.
Exactly. So yeah, that was Diefenbaker hated JFK. So yeah. I hope that was fun. Did you have fun?
Super fun, always, never not fun. Learning facts.
Exactly.
Thank you
Cool.
for that.
So call to action. What's the call to action, Jesse?
Well, let's do the speak pipe thing.
Speak pipe thing.
We're collecting them. We're going to release them.
Yeah,
Speak pipe. Is it speak pipe?
Speakpipe.com/Canadian politics is boring.
Speak pipe. I'm going there right now.
Leave a funny message.
Canadian politics is boring. All right, I just want to see what this looks like. Start recording. I'm just going to do it.
Do
record.
what?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Go on, leave a message.
Use your microphone. Which microphone is it using? It doesn't give me an option. It's probably just using my computer's mic. Hello, I am Jesse, talking on my own podcast through our podcast's voicemail to be later then played on our podcast.
Well, I hope people leave a better message than that.
Yeah, probably. Okay, I'm going to stop now.
That was very minimal effort.
It's been sent.
My computer's mic. Hello, I am Jesse, talking on my own podcast through our podcast's voicemail to be later then played on our podcast.
Hey, there we go. So it's as easy as Jesse just did it, but just please be a bit more imaginative in your message. So, cool. Well, this has been Canadian Politics is Boring, and I've been Reese, and this has been Jesse.
Hello.
And we'll see you soon, I guess.
I guess. I don't know if I ever feel like
maybe you'll see you around or something.
I don't know. This podcast is getting old, man. I don't know.
So we could get to the end of an episode of our own podcast and say, this is getting old. Thanks, listeners.
See you next time.
It's just because we didn't ride a pilot's corpse through the airport. It's literally all you need.
That's the funniest fucking thing.
Oh. Bye, everyone. Something about ear holes.
So, hey, see, I'm getting you to say the word at least. That's a step forward in the right direction. That's good. One of these days, I'll get you saying the whole phrase.
Yay.
Yay.
Yay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Welcome to Canadian Politics is Boring.